ਸਤਨਾਮ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀਓ। ਤਨਾਸਰੀ ਮਹੱਲਾ ਪਹਿਲਾ। ਕਾਇਆ ਕਾਗਦ ਮਨ ਪਰਵਾਣਾ, ਸਿਰ ਕੇ ਲੇਖ ਨਾ ਪੜੈ ਆਣਾ। ਦਰਗਹ ਘੜੀਐ ਤੀਨੇ ਲੇਖ, ਖੋਟਾ ਕਾਮ ਨਾ ਆਵੈ ਲੇ ਵੇਖ। ਨਾਨਕ ਜੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰੁਪਾ ਹੋਏ, ਖਰਾ ਖਰਾ ਆਖੈ ਸਭ ਕੋਇ ਰਹਾਉ। ਕਾਦੀ ਕੂੜ ਬੋਲ ਮਲ ਖਾਏ, ਬ੍ਰਾਹਮਣ ਨਾਵੈ ਜੀਆਂ ਖਾ ਕਾਏ। ਜੋਗੀ ਜੁਗਤ ਨਾ ਜਾਣੇ ਅੰਧ, ਤੀਨੇ ਉਜਾੜੇ ਕਾ ਬੰਦ। ਸੋ ਜੋਗੀ ਜੋ ਜੁਗਤ ਪਛਾਣੈ, ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦੀ ਏਕੋ ਜਾਣੈ। ਕਾਜ਼ੀ ਸੋ ਜੋ ਉਲਟੀ ਕਰੈ, ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦੀ ਜੀਵਤ ਮਰੈ। ਸੋ ਬ੍ਰਾਹਮਣ ਜੋ ਬ੍ਰਹਮ ਵਿਚਾਰੈ, ਆਪ ਤਰੈ ਸਗਲੇ ਕੁਲ ਤਾਰੈ। ਦਾਨ ਸਬੰਧ ਸੋਈ ਦਿਲ ਧੋਵੈ, ਮੁਸਲਮਾਨ ਸੋਈ ਮਲ ਖੋਵੈ। ਪੜਿਆ ਬੂਝੈ ਸੋ ਪਰਵਾਨ, ਜਿਸ ਸਿਰ ਦਰਗਹ ਕਾ ਨੀਸਾਨ। ਪੜਿਆ ਬੂਝੈ ਸੋ ਪਰਵਾਨ, ਜਿਸ ਸਿਰ ਦਰਗਹ ਕਾ ਨੀਸਾਨ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, today from Sachkhand Sri Harmandir Sahib, ਧੰਨ Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paatshah Ji have blessed us with these beautiful words. Through these words awakening us, even though Guru Nanak Dev Ji is speaking through and addressing three different people here. They're talking to a qazi. A qazi is somebody that is learned of the Islamic law, what is referred to as a Sharia law, who judges people dependent on what the Islamic law says. Guru Nanak Dev Ji is talking to a qazi, they're talking to a Brahman. Brahman, somebody that is learned of the Vedas, a Vedic scholar. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji is also addressing a yogi. These are three, you could call them three leaders of different societies, of different groups of people that are leading people. But Sangat Ji, when we look at this Shabad, for us, it's about bringing it upon ourselves. Because us too, we live amongst this world, we live within whatever societies we live in, and we get into this habit of constantly judging others, looking at trying to work out, are they false, are they true, are they genuine, are they this, are they that. But in this Shabad, it's not about us trying to form a judgment on a Muslim, judge on a qazi, on a yogi, on a Brahmin, but the truth is it's about us. It's about allowing these words to look inside of our own self. So let's see what Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paatshah Ji is saying to us today. In which way are they awakening us to look deeper inside of our own mind? Tanasri Mahalla Pahila. This is in Tanasri Rag by Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paatshah, saying to us, Kaya Kagad Man Parvana. So Kaya means body, Kagad means paper. The saying that Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paat saying that imagine your body to be like the paper, kaya kagad man parvana. And then our mind, man parvana. Parvana Sangat Ji is that the mind is where all our actions are written upon. That's where everything is imprinted upon our mind. And Sangat Ji, Parvana has been translated to hukam as well. The saying that that's where everything has been scribed. So then going further, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paat Ji say, kende sir ke lekh na pade e aana. Sir ke lekh. So you know what's scribed upon our own forehead, within our own mind. That's what that means, even though sir ke lekh, sir ke means our forehead. But if we look into that, what that means is our mind. So all the actions that we have done in the past, everything from physical actions, from what we've done with these hands and feet, what we've spoke, Sangat Ji, from what we've tasted, what we've looked at, what we've listened to, what we've thought, the emotions that we felt, all these different ways of that we can create an action, all those that we've been doing up until now, from the past to this very moment. Paat Ji saying to us here, kende ke sir ke lekh, that all of those impressions that are imprinted upon our mind from our past actions, sir ke lekh na pade e aana. Iana, it's somebody that is ignorant, a fool. Maharaj Singh has not read what's upon our own mind. Sir ke lekh na pade e aana. Darg hai kadiye hai teene lekh. But Sangat Ji, looking at that a bit deeper now, that often we are doing and we are acting in a certain way in life. We speak in a certain way, we react to things in a certain way. And we don't look deep enough inside of our own self to take that time to have a look at that, to think, to see that how did I get to that point? Why am I like this? Why am I acting like this? And the truth is that because we don't pay enough attention, just like Paat Ji saying that sir ke lekh na pade e aana, we end up like that ignorant fool, not paying attention to our own self, to our own mind. So if we just look at that pankti, sir ke lekh na pade e aana. So what happens is we fall into that way of not actually paying attention to our own mind's patterns in what is happening to us. Let's take a few examples. So a particular habit that we may have formed in our life, it may be that the moment that we wake up in the morning, so the moment our eyes open, our phone might be lying next to us on the side table or wherever it might be for you. And then without even thinking, our hand grabs that phone and it goes to check whatever is outstanding, whatever messages there are that we've received throughout the night on WhatsApp, on our email, whatever it might be. So this is what it means that sir ke lekh na pade e aana, that when I don't pay attention to what's been scribed within my own mind, then I start acting like this zombie. I start acting like I'm sleepwalking, just as if somebody is like controlling me. And the more and more unconsciously that we live, it feels as if something is controlling me. And then we often put it down to, we often say, oh, it's Kaljug. Oh, as if this Kaljug is an entity. So Kaljug is the era, the time that we are going through, but we sometimes put it down to as if it's this entity that's controlling us. But the more unconscious we live, the more it will feel as if somebody else is controlling us. So we wake up and the first thing we do without even a thought, and we pick that up and we start checking our messages and we do whatever we're doing. It might be something that we don't even want to do. We don't want to wake up and being enslaved to that phone. But sir ke lekh na pade e aana. But I've not gone deep enough into my own mind to have a look at how have I even got to that? How has it got to the point when that has become my habit? And now I'm just acting out of my habitual mind, which is my subconscious mind. And that's happened because we've created that pattern somehow. We've gone and done something again and again, just like Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paatshah Ji say to us, that kar, karana, likh, la, jaho. Just like Paatshah Ji say to us that when we do something repeatedly, again and again, kar. So at some point, so obviously there's a certain time when we do certain things. So at work or whatever it might be, so we have certain times where we check our mail, we check our WhatsApp messages. And but then what happens is we may have just gone, so everyone in their life, they try and create some sort of boundaries where they try and live within. But then what happens is you kind of just push that boundary out a little bit at some point in your life. Then you think that, Jalko, it's alright, you know what? It's okay if I just check it once now, even though I'm at home as well. I'm not in work hours, but I'll quickly check it anyway. But you used to have a rule that I'm not going to take my bed to, I'm not going to take my phone to bed where I sleep, to my sleeping area, to my bedroom or whatever. And then, but you've just slightly kind of you've gone past your boundary, what you had set, and then you've checked it outside of a certain hour that you normally would have. And then what you've just done is kar. And then you've done it once more, kar. And then what happens is karana. And then without even thinking, you keep doing it. First, you've done it as, I'll do it this one off. And then you've done it again. And then you've set yourself a boundary that this time is my time with my children. And I'm not going to, at this time, I'm not going to pay any attention to my WhatsApp messages. Why am I using these examples? Because they're very relevant. And it was a program that I watched about social media yesterday. So that's obviously still in the back of my mind, which is why now we've ended up using these as examples. So you have that rule, you wouldn't do that. But then that one time, it went ting, and you couldn't help yourself, even though that's your time with your children. And it was the first time yet, but then you've gone over and you've quickly just checked. And you thought, no, it's just a one-off, but I'm not going to normally do this. But then you've done it once, got it. And then because that now you've made it easier, because you've just broken that boundary a little bit. And now it becomes easier, then it's not such a big hurdle, then you do it once again. Kar, now twice, kar. And then Sangaji, look at this, how deep this is. Sometimes when I read Gurbani, I sometimes read 2 pangtiyan, read 2 lines, and I feel so full and I think so rich this Bani is of our Guru. Kar, and then karana. Karana is Sangaji when now it becomes our habit, and now we don't even think. We're sitting with our kids and that we're all over the place. We're all over our phone, just there, right in WhatsApp. Karana. Now it's just, we're not even, now the thought isn't even there. Nahin karana. Now it's just there like this machine just working, operating. Karana. And then Paatshah saying, but likh la jaho. But this is now starting to carve your destiny. This is what is carrying you now. And you're now living in this zombie mode, and in a way that you don't even want to be living and operating your life. Now it feels like somebody else has got control of you. Now it feels like there's Kaljug. Mr. Kaljug is actually running your life for you. You think, oh, naine Kaljug karta. You know, this used to happen so much before. I remember growing up as well, and you'd always hear everyone saying that such and such is going through this, and they'll say, and then you'd hear like my mom's era, like the women would be saying as well, that's what Kaljug's like. Like Kaljug was like our next door neighbor, like a man that sat there and he was there controlling us. Sangat ji, that kar karna likh la jaho, exactly here Paatshah ji. And then this is what Paatshah ji is saying, that responsibility you've not gone inside to have a look at. what's happened to your mind and how this has been created now. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆਪੇ ਬੀਜ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ you've done it to yourself. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕੀਤਾ ਤੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆਪੇ ਬੀਜ ਆਪੇ ਹੀ ਖਾਓ. Now you are become the way you have become. You are just eating what you have sown. Ape beej, ape, you yourself, hi khaho. You've created these patterns. You've created that habit. You've created now to be living that way. Nobody has done it to you but yourself. Ape beej, ape hi khaho. And then Singh ji, Nanak hukmi avho jaho. And then the way we become, Sanghaji, then that even determines our coming and going into this world where we are going to go next. So Sanghaji, when Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pach kende sir ke lekh na pade aana, kende you've not gone inside to look at your own self, to look at your own lake, to look at that how you, what you have done yourself to get to this very point that you are in now, and now you're living a life that you don't want. Now you are doing certain things that you don't want to even be doing. But once we start going Paatji, then say kende darge kadye tine lekh, we've done such actions in our life, and those actions have been done in which way? In tine lekh. What's been scribed upon our mind is accordingly to tine. Tine Sanghaji is referring to tamo, rajo, sato. Are the three qualities of what this whole creation has been made from. So tamo, there's things that what's been scribed into our mind are things that are done out of tamo. Tamo Sanghaji are when that lower mind, when we're filled with jealousy, acting out of jealousy, when we're filled with that burning inside, when we look at somebody else, not being happy for somebody else, always wanting what others have got, it's always about us and me. And then there's that rajo. Rajo is having a lot of determination in life and striving, but within that striving there's no sense of bettering the world or anyone else. And then there was Sato as well. Sato is Sanghaji living in that mode where you become very giving, but within that giving you're still recognizing that it's me giving. There's that I, the ego is still there. So sirke lekhna darge kadye tine lekh. And then everything that we're inscribing upon our mind is accordingly to those three modes of life. Kende khota kamna ave vek. Can they have a look? Can they, all the negative actions that you've done? Have they served you? The truth is no. Of course they're not serving us today. They've got me into such. And when we say, even though we think about khota Sanghaji means a counterfeit, something that is false. So an action that we've done is that is very lowly, that is very negative. And we don't even have to think too deeply about something too crazy out there, but we could just think about a simple action, because I'm on that roll now with our phones and social media, and that could be that very thing that when that one time when you thought that no, and now it's become such a habit because you started to break those boundaries and you started utilizing that device even during those times when you even didn't want to, but then it's gone into your bedroom, and then khota kamna ave vek, and then that's not serving you. That one action now turns against you, where you become enslaved. You've even now you've got that device there when you're in bed as well, and everything starts to turn against you in that way. So look how we've done certain things and then they turn against us and they don't serve us. So it's very important for us to start becoming more aware. Guru Nanak Dev Ji here is making us aware to saying, look deeper inside of yourself to how you've become the way you've become. And then now, the more and more aware we become, the more and more we can start breaking out of these patterns. Believe it or not, awareness in itself of knowing what's happening to me and recognizing that this isn't how I want to live, and this is actually, I'm just stuck in this like program, is the first step to start to breaking out of these cycles. And the truth is, now when I look at this, Guru Nanak Dev Ji is addressing all three types of people here in this world that are leading the world. And the truth is, there's not many people that have escaped these addictions and have fallen prey to this. Because the truth is, it doesn't matter who we look towards and look at now. Even the people, whether it be students looking up at teachers, where whoever it is that is trying to looking at there towards an inspiration, they all seem to be stuck in this one thing too. Then Paat ji say, kende ke Nanak je vich rupa hoye, khara khara aakhe sab koye. But the true thing is, but Paat ji kende rupa means silver, but within our mind, if there's a bit of silver there, that's something good that we've done. That khara khara aakhe sab koye, just like that everybody looks at when they see something that is actually, silver amongst all of these things that are false, and you'll be able to spot it and say, oh, look at that within there. In that same way, within our own mind as well, we are here to try and create those silver linings within our mind. And let's have a look at what Paatji then say how to go and do that. Kende Qadi kood bole mal khaye. Kende, look at the Qadi, the one that was there, supposed to be using this Islamic law to help other people's lives, but instead what is he doing? Qadi kood bol. He's starting to lie. Mal khaye. And starting to eat filth. Meaning eat filth in which way? That he's starting to take bribe from people, and he'll even then bend the rules of the Sharia law just so that he can. Eating filth means when you actually start to take bribe from people. Kande Brahman nave jiya kae. Kande, look at the Brahmins, what they're doing. Kande, even though they might be having all these cleansing baths, going upon these pilgrimages. Kande Brahman nave jiya kae. Kande, but they don't think twice about. Kai means to kill. Jia means other people, other lives, killing other people. What does that mean? That they might be cleansing their bodies, doing all these rituals, but when it comes to those that they class as lower castes, as the Shudras, as the untouchables, they don't think twice about killing them, but killing them in which way? Meaning walking all over them and treating them bad, looking down at them. And then Paatji, then they say, kende jogi jugtanja na jane, and they look at the yogi as well. He doesn't know the way of life. Yes, he may have learned many ways of many different postures of how to sit and what to do with their body. Yes, they may know how to do all of this, but they don't know the way of life. This isn't saying that no yogi doesn't know any way of life, but Paatji is looking at how some people get just stuck in certain things. Kende jogi jugt na jane and tine ujade ka band. Kende, look at all three of these. Paatji saying, kende inside, kende ujade ka band. Kende, they've completely destroyed themselves from inside. In the things that they've got caught up in life. And obviously those are examples of that time, and I'm not saying obviously these things happen still today, but I've used examples that are more relevant for us today, that we are all caught up in all these different things. Let's not just look at trying to point fingers towards leaders of how they are leading the world, but we are all leaders in our own self. We are all there as somebody that where our children are taking inspiration from us. They are constantly absorbing our energy, the way we are living. So we might look at today, oh, look at that Qadi, look at him, he's a bribe, look at that Granthi, look at that such and such, look at that Pradhan at the Gurdwara, look at the president, look at this, look at that. You know, but it's about looking at ourselves. What example are we setting as leaders to those that are around us? How are they having to see us living? Are they having to see us living in these addictions of today's world, what they are caught up in? So, and then Pachi kende so yogi jo jugat pachana kende, but a true yogi is that who recognize the true way of life. Te kende Gur Prasadi ek ko jane, what is that way? And the whole point of a yogi, yog means union. The whole point of yogi is whatever they are doing is towards union, towards recognizing the one through the grace of the Guru. Qazi so jo ulti kare, and a true Qazi is that turns, ulti means to turn around, that turns away, that turns around from all these negative ways and actions that they have got caught up in. Kende Qazi so jo ulti kare Gur Prasadi Jivat Mara, and that actually surrenders and gives themselves to that one, to the grace of that one, and dies whilst they are still living, while surrendering before Vaheguru. So Brahman Sangh Ji, so just going back to that, so what, just the truth is that Guru Prasadi Jivat Mare, what that's actually saying is that be even a Qazi, the truth is that a Qazi could be very learned of these Islamic laws, but the truth is until they don't give themselves to a Guru that is completely, that is enlightened, and they then completely surrender to that Guru's word, until then they won't find that way out. So Brahman, so Brahm Bichara, kende a true Brahman, a true Vedic scholar is that who Brahm Bichara, that actually contemplates God deeply within inside in themselves. Aap tara, those that are saved themselves, and Sagle Kultara, and then they'd save many others too. That's a true Brahmin. And they Dan Saband, and that's how we can be, and that's for us as well, is to save ourselves first and truly look at our own minds and start being able to read our own mind, to look at how have I become the way I've become? Why am I stuck in this habit? How has this happened? How does it even form? What have I done to get to this point? And because I want to become that Brahman as well, that where I've completely saved myself, and then those that are around me, and then they are able to be saved too. Otherwise they are going to only learn the patterns that I'm stuck in, and that's what they are going to be absorbing, those that are around me. Kende then Dan Saband Soi Dil Tova. Then Paatji saying that the truth is that those that actually cleanse their own mind, they are the true wise ones. Musliman Soi Mal Khova. They're saying that Musliman Soi. They said a true Musliman, a true Muslim is that who Mal Khova, that impurifies their own mind and gets rid of all that dirt of taking bribe from others. Padya Bujya So Pravan. Kende only that Padya, that reading is Pravan, is truly accepted. Kende those that what? That Bujya, those that have the true understanding of their own self. Kende Jis Sir Dargah Ka Nisan, and who has that understanding, that has that true sign from the court of God. So Sangat Ji, for me, obviously because of what I ended up watching yesterday, had an influence on the way I looked at this Shabad. And the truth is that wherever we are at in our own minds, when we look at something, in that way we will see and through those lenses. And the truth is that we sometimes are unaware of what is going on in our own minds, and not even realizing that we have got ourselves into such habits within our own mind, and now are just living out of them, and it's not actually the way we want to be living. So some contemplation is to really go within our own self and look at the patterns in the way we are living, having a little reflection. This evening, sitting down and reflecting that all that we've done in the day, and all the things that then we've done, that we don't even actually want to be doing things in that way. Every time we did, we became that slave to one of our devices, and looking back and reflecting that actually I didn't want to even do that at that time. That's not how I actually want to be living. The awareness is the first step towards breaking out of that cycle and lifting ourselves out. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paatshah today for me was awakening me to look at myself deeper in my own habits that I have got caught up in, to start to then do ardas, to beg before that one sitting inside of us, to break me out of those cycles, so that I can live a more righteous life in serving, in truly serving others that are around me. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.